Hey, I'm Sir Robert, and you can find my stuff at thefarce.net. That's a lot of confidence from Matt. He's sure. Nice. Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Malmer, your religion check of 18 means that you understand that this dark elf, as a worshiper of Karen, with a Q, is spiritually disturbed by the powerful Oberonian enchantment that you and Weatherin have put on the ship. Something like strong drink or anything that generally that befuddles the senses might give him relief from this sensation. Otherwise, the conflict could be resolved by removing either the enchantment or his devotion to Karen, which are the two things that are in conflict. Both of you roll me up a perception check.
Deal.
Could also try removing his head.
Another option, except
Sorry,
that would
perception.
probably make the captain pretty mad since he told you not to kill each other.
I rolled a natural 20. Nope. I rolled a natural 20.
I rolled. Sorry. I rolled a 18.
Cool. Sometime before this moment, you will have noticed, your characters will have noticed that the broken cloudstone which the Fujin had been towing,
Mm-hmm.
since your encounter with the stone giant, you guys still there?
Yes,
Yeah.
we are. I am.
Okay, good. Since your encounter with the stone giant, you've been towing a broken, large piece of milky white cloudstone which floats in the air. It's gone.
Oh no! When did that disappear?
Well, you were not shy about letting people know that it was for a Nebulaster, so it's likely that some of the sailors unloaded it when you reached Nebulaster's perch.
I
And
thought.
maybe some ogres came by and picked it up.
Gotcha. Okay.
You mean
You
giants?
were
Well, ogres, servants of giants.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that relationship.
Weatherin.
Hi.
You see just out of the corner of your eye a flying object. Something that does look much like that cloudstone. It's not, doesn't seem to be the exact one. This one looks like an unbroken version, and you can't see who might be on it. But you do see it sort of flying away from the island.
Okay.
Uh,
Following us? When you say flying away from the island?
You're headed in one direction and it's headed in another. You don't get enough of a look at it to be like incredibly sure exactly which direction it's headed.
Okay. But it's headed away from the island and not
You're
to
moving
us.
and it's moving, and yeah.
Sure.
The drow harpooner removes his cloak, lets it fall to the deck in the darkness. Sunshine, which would usually be here above the cloudy sea, doesn't hurt him. His eyes are a baleful red. He says, Oberonian oppression is crushing my spirit. Release your tyrannous hold on this ship, Paladin.
No.
Yeah, and Mal stands up next to Watherin and says, "Go take some strong drink and deal with your headache. We have a boon here that helps with the fight, or are you not man enough to deal with a ringing in your ear?"
Hunter, surely you do not wish the finger of this uptight, prim, proper god, bloodless and pale, controlling your hunt? Help me. Convince him.
He's not controlling the hunt. He's assisting the hunt, just so you know. And drow.
And
If you don't like it,
yeah.
you're free to leave. And Watherin motions over the edge of the boat. The ship.
I put my hand up to him and I say a word. And I step forward close to him, like close enough that if he pulled out a dagger, he could probably attack me. But I still haven't drawn my sword or anything. And I say kind of quietly in his ear, "Before the end of all these things, I would see Oberon and Paylord themselves at odds over the killing of Enma. We will need all the gods to turn against him if we are to take this prize."
Did I hear it?
I tried to say it quietly, so I don't know what kind of check you want to make me make or make him make.
I think that you should make a stealth check, and you should make a perception check, I guess.
Sure. Let's see. 17.
23.
So it seems like Weathering, you notice that you see that he says something to him, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's not apparent. It's not apparent to you what it is. Go ahead, Malmer, and roll a. Roll a persuasion check.
Okay. Not great, not terrible. 16.
And Watherin wants to jump
Pretty
in
good.
to the drow and just to the thing and say, while Mal is speaking, and say, "Drow, we're all going to die on this ship. Today is no different than next week for me."
Is that intended to be like some kind of threat?
It's intended to let him know I'm not backing down and I'm willing to die for it. I'm not like threatening to kill him, but I'm saying like if you're gonna make this go all the way to force, let's do it.
I'll meet you there. In the words of Lone Star, I'm already there.
That's right.
The dark elf is armed with a short sword, and you see his hand go to it. His eyes look over at the starboard side of the ship, where one of the heads is tied. And you can see that he's at war with himself, and he looks over to Mal, and he says, when the time comes, I know which side you're going to be on. And he turns and goes.
Does Watherin hear that?
Yes.
Okay.
He is not hiding it.
And Watherin cherished all these things in his heart.
And Mal turns around and looks at Watherin and says, I honestly am not even sure which side he's talking about. Honestly. And that requires no deception check. Mal is genuinely somewhat confused.
Watherin is less confused.
Right.
Just to say. He's, suspicious, but whatever. The drow is dealt with for now, it seems.
This is a good thing we have done, Watherin. I am proud to sail with you, a man of your faith. You will bring strength to the hunt, to our people.
I'll do what I need to do. I've given my word, and it is my bond.
Mal hasn't had a elf-to-elf moment with his people in a while, so I think it's kind of occurring to Mal after Oberon's blessing that he is still an elf somewhere in there. That aspect of Oberon that spoke to him and resonated with him has kind of hit him there. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. I think Watherin picks up some of that sincerity. It gives a little nip to the
on the fable meter, it went.
That's right.
Little tiny blip. So the Fujin takes a generally southwesterly course.
We're going to the Ragged Edge. Yep, okay. I'm going to pull up that map.
And you are actually basically at the northeastern edge of the Ragged Edge, which sort of begins at the edge of the world, with Nebulaster's Perch.
Mal can be found in every spare moment when he's not doing ship duties, practicing with different types of pole arms that he creates. He creates a different one and trains with it for an hour.
You'll have trouble doing that. The rain has grown torrentially for the first couple of hours that you're sailing.
Oh, he's doing acrobatics checks left, right, and center and falling down all the time. He's still doing it.
Okay, yeah, do make me an actual acrobatics check since you're doing this in the rain on the slick deck.
22.
Well, that's fine.
And if you want another, yeah.
No, you're good.
Couple in the 20s.
So, do either of you have anything that you're hoping to do during this time? You've got some work to do, along with the other sailors, but really, there's nothing happening at the moment.
Okay. Hey, just to be explicit, since we left Nebulaster, have we had a long rest?
Not yet.
Okay. I just needed to make sure I was keeping track properly. Okay.
Yeah, things have happened pretty quick. The captain is still locked away in his cabin.
Okay. Sounds good. Weatherin doesn't have anything he needs to be working on with any urgency.
Mal is going to try to do some sort of communion with his god to see if he can hear him any better as they travel out to the depths and stuff. So
Yeah.
he's going to take out that flag and he's going to basically ask Watherin or ask Sarah if he can borrow the use of one of the boats to do a bit of trolling from behind the ship. And he's going to do a little private ceremony to commune with Chernobog. Can I make like a religion check or something to try to do that?
Let me see. Sarah is not. She doesn't go along with that. She says, "I'm sorry. I've got to train 2 more sailors to. I've got to pick one of these sailors to take the place of the lizard man in my boat, and we've got to get everything shipshape, and there's just too much to do. I'm afraid I can't give permission for that just yet.
Okay.
Go," and she gives you some other chore to do. And
Great.
you're like, Weatherin just did this like 5 minutes ago. But she tells you to do it.
I'll go back over it and try to just pretend to do it, because if I do it, it won't be as well done as when Watherin did it.
Good. She's happy. But you don't get your chance to
Sure.
borrow a boat.
Okay.
At this stage, especially during the storm. But unless you're going to do anything in the next couple of hours, the Fujin does come out from under the storm before the end of the day. So you do get the chance to see the longest sunset that anybody ever sees, where you have come to the end for the first time of the Cloudy Sea, where the trees actually stop. There's a kind of coastline to it that stretches generally southwest from here, but like it's very crinkly. There's a sort of maze-like structures of trees and clumps all clinging to each other, and as you proceed down to the southwest, you'll be able to make your way through these mazy sort of formations of forest. But this sunset takes forever because there's just no horizon in front of you. The ship is pointed southwest, and to your right, and there's a little bit in front of you as the sun sets. It just keeps going down and down and down.
It's got to cast some eerie shadows because the top of the ship is shadowed and the bottom is bright.
Yeah. And eventually you get to by the time everybody's to bed, it's the night watch's turn, and just like the skeleton crew that keeps the ship going at night. But you've basically anchored here in a sturdy spot near the edge, but not too close to the edge. And by the time the sun actually goes down, everybody's asleep. When finally the trees themselves cover up the sun and you start to get the green glow that has been your nighttime this entire time so far.
Mm-hmm.
The way that it's going to work in the Ragged Edge is Captain Goryo is not going to pilot the Fujin out into the Ragged Edge itself. Rather, he's going to send boats out when it looks like there's a promising section of forest to be explored. It's mostly not the largest kraken that dwell here, but there are often kraken to be found in this place, and he himself is going to be going on one of those boats. So each day the ship is going to be sort of a home base that the boats are going to take off from to search for kraken.
Okay.
There's a system where instead of the tangle harpoon, you have a harpoon that has a couple of bright red kites that will fly from it in the breeze. So if you do find a kraken, you can, instead of stopping it, you can mark it so that the other boats will be able to converge on it, hopefully, and hunt it down.
Right.
But that is all going to happen tomorrow, and it's time to play the rest of today for Tashash and Fennetir. Tashash, you're a ranger, and you've been on the Cloudy Sea for a while, so you have some sense of these things. Also, as a lizard man, you have spent a lot of time among dinosaurs. You know a lot about them, so the form that your body can take now as a Werequetzalcoatl is not wholly unfamiliar to you. So here's...
Matt, can you describe again geographically where they are?
They have flown north and slightly east of Nebulaster's Perch over the ocean,
So
not
we're
the
in
Cloudy Sea.
we're in giant land.
They're in sort of giant land, and they have found a small island that they think is deserted.
Is this near the cloud line? Oh, I see.
This is
okay.
north of the cloud line.
All right, I've got the maps up with map markers to show where we are.
Nice.
So before we set out, Tashash suggests to Fennetir that they make a stop in 3 ways.
Sounds good to me. I'm sleepy. Just somewhere I can sleep.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take us on to 3 ways by air.
So, Tashash, in your Quetzalcoatl form, you can fly for 3 hours before you need to rest for an hour. And you can fly for 9 hours total per day.
Mhm.
So that is 3 flights per day with 2-hour-long rests in between, and then camping for a long rest at night. Hold on, I have to. Also, you can skip one of those rests if you want to keep flying, but that will cost you 1 level of exhaustion.
Right. I think we'll. We're not in. He'll go at a normal pace.
So you've got there are several.
Also with natural. Well, I guess technically we're not in the Cloudy Sea right now.
Well, I'm going to suggest some possible routes that you could take. If you were to go straight southeast from where you are, that would take you directly over the cloud line, where you know that there are often some rocky points that you can rest on. You do also know that some of those are inhabited by giants. You could also take a shallow arc through the Cloudy Sea, which would avoid the depths, and also, say sort of in between the depths and the cloud line, and that would take you like 2 days of flying to get back to. But basically, either of those would take you about 2 days. Since you're going
to get to 3-way or to get to where we're going.
To get to 3 ways.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It'll take longer to get to where you're going, which is a bit of a journey south of
the swamp. In the swamp, It doesn't seem like it's all that much further to go around the edge, and it
Yeah.
also dodges. If we go straight, I think we'd have to go through the depths, which seems like maybe not the best idea.
Or the horns.
Also, that's who even knows what's there.
That sounds like a nice place. It's probably the premier vacation point of.
It's like full of hug dragons or something.
Mm-hmm. They're so cute. They're like trying to attack you, but they're just tickling you and hugging you, and
Yeah, they don't know how to
how to
What's
be
going
fearsome.
hold somebody.
I knew that D&D would eventually unlock Dwight's fantasy about being tickled and hugged.
By a dragon.
So what
Yep.
kind of horse are you thinking of, Tashash?
I think probably probably swing over the cloudy sea. It seems like that's so he's gonna try to go at a normal pace, but also he wants to avoid encounters with things. So I imagine he could probably, and he's got his pass without whatever.
Trace.
Oh,
that.
hey, Finitier flips out his talking rock and he's like, "Hey, Goose Knights, you should follow us and scout for us."
Oh yeah, there's an
Because
idea.
Pawn said to help me.
Aha, clever. Yeah,
Do they
so
do they
probably
talk
just
back?
try to keep a low profile. I have
Did you just start a Goose Night gang? Did you just
Yep.
appoint yourself head of a Goose Night gang? Just like that? Like, oh my word.
Are we gonna?
I remain
Sorry,
I remain alert to danger even when engaged in another activity while I'm in my favorite terrain. So, if something nasty pops up, he'll probably
it won't surprise you, probably.
yeah, and he'll probably go into pass without trace mode.
Okay, so Dwight, you're going to take out your sending stone, and you're going to give a little ring-a-ling to the Goose Knights.
Yeah.
Cool. Tashash, make me or either one of you, if you want to meet up with them, they don't know where you are. You like became invisible or passed without trace or something. They lost you. So you don't know where they are, and they don't know where you are. So you're going to have to figure out how to meet. And you can only communicate like just a few words to them. It's like 15 words over the sending stone per day. So it's going to be a challenge to come up with. What you should do is
then I'll just say, hey, go to three-way.
Okay.
Meet me at three-way. 2 days.
You get a voice over the stone comes back and says, 10-4, little buddy.
Little.
Will do.
Got it.
Very, very good, chieftain, commander.
Okay. Flip flop. Put it in my pocket.
All right. So you're gonna floof off, flap your wings.
Yeah.
Fennetir, Tashash's appearance in Quetzalcoatl form is, I don't know if you've ever looked up what like one of these dinosaurs looks like, but the beak is just imagine like the scariest great blue heron, and make the beak just a lot worse.
Yeah, it's basically if a great blue heron was a demon.
Yeah, they're
very sharp teeth.
He's got a very, very sharp beak thing. It very almost giraffe-like, but flying. So
It's about the size of a Cessna 172.
yeah, so you're sort of clinging to the back of this insane monster dinosaur as you go winging your way over the cloudy sea. So you're gonna.
Am I on the back or on the neck?
or in the
Wherever
claws.
you want.
Whichever one is safest.
He's cooperating with you, so wherever you feel comfortable.
I feel like the neck would probably be best, so I'm not competing.
If you
with
have
anyone.
some rope, you could like tie yourself on or something. Make a harness. I don't know.
In terms
I
of
don't have any rope though, because I got rid of it.
in terms of time, we're currently like in the mid-afternoon of the same day when you met when you had your discussion with Nebulaster.
Got it.
You do have a few hours of good flying before night falls, and you'll have to make camp.
Where we are, does night mean like glowing from the ground, or is that only
No,
out
you're
where
on
they
an
are?
island in the regular, just
Regular ocean.
regular saltwater ocean.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah,
nighttime is nighttime here.
We're gonna set off.
Cool. So you if you're heading towards Three Ways, if you were to head straight towards Three Ways, you would be over the ocean for a long time. For like a
No,
day.
we're gonna swing out over the Cloudy Sea because I can
Right.
navigate that better. It's not significantly longer, and
Cool.
can-
So the first thing you do
if I need to.
the first thing you do is you're going to head south, probably, because if you were to go southwest, you'd come pretty close to Nebulaster's perch. So you're going to
Right.
probably head straight south until you cross over the cloud line. This is just you have to go up a little ways to get over the amount of spray and water vapor that's coming up, and this from where the water just pours over the edge.
Yep, we do that.
And once you're that sort of cloud of mist seems to sort of continue till below you is the cloudy sea. From this high, it is white. It is pure white. It is barely possible. It is almost superhuman to be able to tell anything about what's going on beneath the clouds of the cloudy sea without actually poking your head down there and looking.
And yet, I have Natural Explorer in this region.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What does Natural Explorer give you?
You have a favored terrain type. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for proficient skills when you make an intellect or wisdom check related to it. Traveling for an hour or more in your chosen terrain. Difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. Can't become lost except by magical means. Remain alert to danger, even when engaged in other activities. Move stealthily at a normal pace while alone. Find twice as much food while foraging. While tracking creatures, you can learn the exact number, size, and how long ago they passed through the area.
Great. So you have to, if you're going to fly over this area, you're going to have to land and find a spot to camp for the night.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to need from you is
survival. Survival.
Yep.
Okay. I am proficient, so my modifier is doubled.
Yep.
Oh dear. I got a 1.
You got a 1, but your modifier is doubled. So what is it actually?
9.
Okay. So describe to me how you go about landing and trying to find a place to make camp and doing all that stuff. What kind of what's your strategy?
I mean, what would be good places to make camp in the Cloudy Sea? And like, I guess there's like islands, like small islands, maybe. Sometimes I'd probably look out for those. Maybe look for large trees. Just look for things like that we could land on.
Do you want to continue flying until you find something like an island. An island of that kind would be visible above the clouds, but otherwise things like large trees, you can't see them.
I mean, I guess David, the player, don't have a great sense of what would be practical
Mhm.
to try to do. So I think Tashash would know what to look for, but I'm not sure what to tell you.
Sure. So, okay, you don't find any interesting landmarks that seem particularly safe. So you
Mhm.
land in the among the clouds. First, when you set down, as a Quetzalcoatl, you are too heavy to stand on the canopy, which is the
Right.
interleafed leaves that form the topmost layer of the cloudy sea.
So I'll probably like settle close down there to let Finnetir off, and then once Finnetir gets off, I'll turn back into me, or turn back into a lizard.
Okay, you find yourself on the surface of the cloudy sea.
Great. I guess I'll try and find us the most secure place that I can
Okay,
and nearby.
so you're going to descend below the canopy.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
I'm going to try to hide us pretty well.
Each of you who wants to descend beneath the canopy, make me an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics. Haha. 1.
8.
Total.
1 plus 1, so 2.
Okay, you both fall.
Oh boy.
How far?
Fennetir. Well, because of Tashash's exceptional ranger abilities in this terrain, I'm going to give you advantage on that on this acrobatics check. So go ahead and roll.
Oh, that's better.
Haha.
16.
Okay, so you don't fall, but you see Fennetir start to fall.
Can I help him? I'm trying to help him.
Yeah, you
I'm
can.
starting to fall.
I will save you.
You can make me another acrobatics check to attempt to help him.
All right. Advantage?
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Okay. Yeah, you
Oh,
grab him,
yeah.
steady him, and you're able to
I'm going to power pose.
climb yourselves down. Oh, sorry. You're able to climb yourselves down through the cloudy sea without actually super falling, and you are in a dark and misty zone. There are the sounds of little animals, birds, and things around you. Tashash, you'll be looking for something like a big sturdy tree with those big armpits.
Yeah, or a hole in it or something.
Tree armpit.
Well, you haven't had great success with these trees when they have holes in it. I think you're, as a ranger, you learned something about watching out for dead trees in here.
Yeah, that's true.
In a past experience that you had down here, so
In a
you'll be
past
looking
life.
for the older oak-like trees that have wide boughs and crotches that you can sort of set up like a mountain climber's tent in. And you do indeed find one like that.
Great. We'll I'm gonna try to land, try to secure us, make us stealthy. Do all this stealthily so that we do not get noticed by things that we don't want to notice us.
Yes, please do go ahead and make a stealth check.
With advantage?
Does your thing give you advantage on stealth checks?
I can move stealthily at a normal pace while alone. So no.
I got a
specific-
19 on my stealth check
Boom.
Very good.
without advantage.
Well, I got a 12.
Hey, come over here. It's stealthier.
Yes, you are correct. I will go over there, where you are.
While you are preparing your campsite for the night, you've got the various materials and things that you need, and you're able to forage some things stealthily to try and get yourself set up. It's not going to be comfortable. It's going to be far less comfortable than the ship.
I have a blanket.
Good. That's going to help.
I have scales.
As you are going to sleep for the night, you're sort of drowsing and beginning to... I suppose you're not going to make a fire or anything. I'm assuming this.
No
No.
fire.
No fire. So
No
you
point in making the trees mad at us.
you eat your dry rations, and it's chilly down here, but you wrap up and bundle up, get yourself as comfortable as can be, and then as you're nodding off to sleep, you hear... It's not hearing something. Instead, it's like the noises of the insects and the birds and little animals just go quiet.
I would like to cast Pass Without Trace.
You cast it. It gives you plus 10 to your stealth, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so
it can't be tracked except by magical means.
yeah.
So, yeah.
We have to move again.
You do that.
Shit,
then-
look around, try to figure out what's up.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
Do
Remember, I have passive 18 perception.
that seems
Right.
great.
passive 18 perception. Yeah. So as you are Fennetir, you have this perception. Are you going to poke your head out of the tent?
Yes.
Okay. Both of you make stealth checks if you're going to look around.
Boo.
It's plus 10,
Yeah.
Dwight.
Oh,
plus
for
10.
me too.
You get an additional plus 10.
Nice.
I-
18.
I got 24.
Okay. You look out. Fennetir, you see this. Tashash, if you want to see it too, make me a perception check.
Perception check. Okay. 11. Jeepers.
You don't see this. Fennetir, what you see is below you and off to the side a little bit, drifting eerily, is the shape of an elf, but you can see through it. It's not like glowing blue like a ghost. It's more like a filthy sort of gray outline, just sort of drifting through the trees, and you can feel this sort of wave of malice coming from it.
Is it heading our way, or?
As it passes by, you can see like any of the plants, any shoots, any little, new leaves or shoots on the trees, as it goes by them, just turn brown and wither. The animals
Gross.
just like just either go completely still or run away from it. It's a horrifying thing to see, but it seems to just pass you by.
Okay.
And
Gross.
after a little while, unless you're going to do something, after a little while, it the sounds of the forest sort of come back.
What?
Slightly quieter though, because
Just-
a bunch of stuff died.
Tashash turns to Fennetir.
What was all that about?
There was a ghostish elf flying by, killing things with its
Oh,
aura, but it
That
didn't
does
seem to
not-
care about us.
That does not sound natural. It is gone now. I did
Think
not
so.
see it. You have
It
good
was-
eyes.
I am perceptive.
Very good. And it is gone. Well, perhaps we should take turns at the watch.
Let's do that.
All right. I will take the watch first.
Okay.
so yeah, we'll switch off, taking the watch, and yeah.
Okay. So how long do each of you need to sleep to get your full rest?
I don't
I'm
know.
elf, so I'm like 6 hours. Half. Is it 4 hours? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I think, Dave, you're going to need to sleep for 8 hours, and Fennetir's going to need to trance for just 4. So I think it's going to
Yeah.
be 12 hours for both of you to get your full rest in while the other watches.
Okay.
And that will take you to the next morning, and we will go back to the Fujin. In the
We,
morning,
Hey, we lost Josh a little bit ago. He's here, or at least he's connected still. We don't have video from him, and I don't know about audio.
hey Josh, are you there?
I'm right here, and
video
I
on Mustang.
simply had my video turned off because I was not part of the show.
Great.
But you're back in the show now. What happens is the sun comes up in the east over the land, far, far away, seeming very small and distant. And it's the captain is up and about again. He has ordered the boats to be readied, and they are going to set off into the cloudy sea. Into the Ragged Edge. Weatherin, this is the closest thing to in anybody's nautical. Your experience is sort of nautical, and so your skills as a sailor on the cloudy sea have been sort of converted from sea sailing skills. They pretty much carried over, but this is unlike any kind of sailing that you would do on the ocean.
Sure.
The closest analog would be like canoeing along small streams, or paddling a small boat through narrow rivers that sometimes open out into ponds or lakes.
Okay.
If you had something like a wetlands or like an estuary type place where there are places that your craft cannot go.
Sure.
Except that here, the places where your craft can go are at the tops of the trees, and to either side of you of those places is an abyss. If you look down over the edge, it is black, and you can see the stars slowly streaming by as you look down there.
Okay.
It is Sarah and Weatherin and Malmer and 2 randos. 3 randos? The boats hold 6.
3 red shirts.
3 rando red shirts. And you are the Fujin sails along a little bit more and then stops, anchors itself to the trees, sends out the boats. The captain himself goes out on a boat to search for Kraken here. So all 4 of the boats are sent out. The ship has not really a skeleton crew, but I'd say probably half the sailors are on boats and out in the Ragged Edge.
Watherin, what do you say to a little gamble? And Mal pulls out a couple of lengths of really, really long rope. And he says, if I lower myself down far enough, I'll have a better vantage point than even the man in the crow's nest, provided that these little ones are flying around near the bottom. Worth it?
Sure.
All right.
We'll take
Mal's
turns.
gonna... What's that?
We can take turns.
Yeah. So we can head out a ways and find a good spot where there's a solid place to park, and then that's right next to a void. And Mal is going to volunteer to go down first.
Okay. That sounds great. Here, the trees are really 20, 25 feet tall, sometimes only 10 feet tall, sometimes, smaller and stunted. So that sort of corresponds to a lower depth of the cloudy sea.
Hey, is this the same day? Have we still not had a long rest?
You've had your long rest now.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the next morning.
Great.
Malmer, you will indeed get a good view, but it will be sort of a nighttime view. You can see in the dark. Elves can see in the dark.
Right.
So it won't be that. It'll be not quite as good as in the broad daylight from the crow's nest.
Sure.
But you'll still have quite a good view if you lower yourself down.
Yeah.
On the road.
And he wants to lower himself like a few hundred feet.
Okay. Let's see.
And once he gets down there, he's going to use minor illusion to try to make a sound. It can be as loud as like the roar of an animal. And he's going to try to make some sort of Kraken sound. Or if there's, I don't know, can I make like a nature check to see if there's like a particularly effective way to do that or something?
Yeah. So first, first make your nature check to see about what your plan is going to be.
Fudge. Not great. 10.
Yeah, you don't have like a really clear idea of as far as you know, Kraken are mysterious in their ways and how they move about.
Sure.
There's not, in your experience, there isn't like a tried and true method. There's not good Kraken bait that you know of.
Right.
Now, both of you, I would say, make a easy survival check. This is a regular sailor skill, lowering people on rope, but you should make it.
11.
Well, I got a 3.
Okay, it's a good thing that that you're the one at the end of the rope and not the one holding the rope up top.
It's a good thing for me.
As you are being lowered, okay. As you're being lowered through the trees, Malmer, you get like, part of what you have to do as you go through the trees is sort of navigate yourself. You have to like push off a branch here, push off a branch there, and if you don't do a good job of that, you can get, how if you're walking the dog and you got kind of a long leash and the dog does a couple circles around a tree and a signpost and different things. You can get a little
tangled,
little snarfled up.
Yeah.
That's what happens to you. What you find, Weatherin, is that eventually, like, the weight kind of stops on the rope, and you're not really like holding it up anymore. you're actually not too far away from each other, but there's a whole like 20 feet of trees and also canopy and also the fog between you. Although the fog is pretty patchy, so you can see the canopy below you, unlike in the main cloudy sea where it's just solid white.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the green leaves and stuff, and the fog is a little bit less thick. But yeah, you become entangled in your ropes. The ropes are tangled up above you, Malmer. So you're now sort of hanging there. Make me an acrobatics check. This is also an easy one, just to climb up the rope and like untangle yourself.
All right, 19.
Okay, yeah. So you get yourself untangled. But you've definitely made some noise at this point, and maybe drawn more attention to yourself than you maybe intended.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting tangled up and going up and shaking the branches, and things are knocking around and
Acting like a thing that's flailing in the branches.
yeah, something
that
like
would
that.
signal
So
predators.
you can continue lowering yourself down, or you can give Weathering the signal to pull you up.
Let's go for it. Let's go down.
Okay.
Do I need to make another survival check or anything? Or is that we're good now?
No, go ahead and make me a perception check.
18.
18. You get down to the very bottom, the end of your rope, and you look, you peer out as far as you possibly can. Where's my D12? I said it would be a D12. Yeah. You don't see anything.
Okay. All right. I give the rope a flick for the pull me up signal.
Up you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Up, up, up. One of the things that I like to ask when we're doing these kinds of challenges, we're doing acrobatics checks over and over and over again, might get to be a little repetitive.
Sure.
As your team sort of navigates through this maze-like structure of forest, are there any other skills that you're able to employ, that your characters are able to do, that would possibly help out in this task?
Waiter, and I'll let you go since I've been talking.
Sure. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. How about maybe sleight of hand for, rope trickery, getting stuff out of trees and stuff? Or
Sure.
Yeah, we can do that.
I would say for me, athletics, to try to like really, really lean on the rudder and try to actually, put human effort into maneuvering the boat.
Yeah, because you guys are heroes, you have these capacities that are sort of beyond what the normal sailors are capable of, and I want to give you these roles as like a chance to sort of express that extra heroicness.
Great.
Yeah, with athletics, Mal would be like grabbing the mast and like heaving with all his might and throwing his weight out and trying to lean the ship out on its side as it cuts and stuff.
So what do I do?
Go ahead and make that roll.
Okay.
Sleight of hand.
12.
Okay.
And a 20 athletics for Mal.
Okay. Yeah, Weathering, you think of there are a couple times when you come into places where it would be useful and sort of like you can throw a rope around one of the trees to like sort of pull the boat forward a little bit when there's like a tricky spot. Because the trees, they sort of go down and then they sort of go up again, so there's downhills and uphills that you've got to sort of get through. it's not nearly as smooth and even as the main part of the Cloudy Sea is. So there are times when you can use a rope to like help lower the boat down a downhill, or sort of lasso a big tree and help pull the boat up an
Mm.
uphill, things like that. So
Cool.
you're able to use some of these rope tricks. It's nothing stellar, but Sarah is kind of a
You froze after Sarah is kind of still frozen. Let it go. Let it go. Oh, no, lawsuit. That will get us shut down. There you are, Matt.
here.
You're
Am I
back.
back.
You're back.
Okay.
Sarah is kind of
She's complimentary of Weatherin's tricks with the ropes.
Cool.
Malmer, you really put your back into it, and you give it a whole lot of oomph, and you get out further than the other boats are. Like you're able to go further from the Fujin than you would ordinarily go, which is good because it gives you a better chance to find the Kraken that you're hunting for.
Shall we try again?
Sure.
He looks to Sarah and Watherin.
Yes, I think it's a lowering down like that is a great idea.
I'm game.
By
My
now,
turn.
Hours have gone by. You're far from the Fujin. You're in you know the direction, from the sun, so you're not lost, but it's like it's not mazy enough that you could get lost, but
Right.
it's mazy enough that like you have to pick the general direction, and sometimes there's dead ends and all this, it's complicated moving around. So
Right. It's like being in the bayou. You're having to follow the rivers and stuff.
yeah, exactly.
Like you're on a airboat. Mal definitely starts to prepare the harness for Watherin. He says, just try not to get too tangled. It's a little bit trickier than it looks.
Fair enough.
I fully anticipate that Watherin will do this way better than Mal and embarrass him. It's like it's pretty difficult. It's more difficult than it looks. All right.
Go ahead and make me those acrobatics checks.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be athletics to lower him down? Or for me?
Yeah, you can do athletics to lower him down.
Nice. 20. 16 plus 4.
11.
Okay. Yeah. You go down. You lower yourself through the trees. At this point,
He looks at Sarah and says, it was the advice. It was good advice.
he's like, yes, sure. You're out near the edge. It's a little thin out here. So it feels. I mean, for you guys, it always feels precarious on the ragged edge, but out this far, out of sight of the Fujin, it feels precarious. Weatherin, you're wearing your armor, right?
Yeah.
So
Not the chain armor, the other armor.
you are feeling very much like the worm on the end of the hook, or like you are this is the furthest that a land animal can go from the land.
Yeah.
Basically where you are right now. If there are any sort of deep meditations that you want to do, maybe this is the time.
Yeah, I mean, Watherin's introspective and he's feeling all like close to Oberon because he's out in the cosmos to his perception. So sure, some prayers and junk.
This is I
Wait.
mean, I'm just saying this is a situation of like what's the word?
Legendary. Deep.
Not the sublime.
Mhm.
This is like a
Absolutely.
situation of the distances involved, the vastness all around you, the eternal silence of the infinite spaces.
Connected
It's
by
just
this thin umbilical cord.
extremely thin umbilical cord. It's a sublime
In
experience.
the hands of Mal, just the way he wants it.
Watherin too. It's a good day to die.
So just this, if you want to have a monologue, I don't know, up to you.
I think Watherin is in. He has a sensation that he's right on the cusp of something great for Oberon in looking for Firin, and this is a good opportunity for him. He always wears his prayer book on a chain, so it's a small prayer book, and he takes notes in it, whatever, and so that's on there. And he's in the downtime while he's looking, and I assume he's down there for a little while. He is praying and staring off into the eyes of the cosmos and seeing what beholds him, and is also especially just as he did when he was originally praying to Oberon at the beginning and had that vision, right? He's asking for help with the whole Firin Salvanus thing in order to restore that order.
Dum, dum. You hear a deep, deep, deep sound of drums booming from above. Dum, dum.
Go ahead and make that perception check.
Me?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. I forgot my perception. What is it? There it is. Okay. 7. I'm getting terrible rolls today.
All right. Yeah. All is pretty calm.
Okay.
You do see at the very distance, like pretty far away,
Mm-hmm.
you see a back to the east. You see just the smallest like gleam of something with scales through the trees.
Do Krakens have scales?
No.
Okay. How far
It's the
away?
Gleam of the sun.
Okay.
The gleam of maybe not the gleam of the sun, but like that sort of shininess,
Sure.
very far away.
Sure.
It's not what you're hunting, but there's something.
Mm-hmm. Do I have the ability? Let's say we set up some kind of signal to jerk on the rope.
Oh,
to
yeah.
go some direction or something. I just indicate that there's stuff that way.
Sure.
Something's there. We can move there. It's not in crossbow range, is it?
No.
Okay. That's
All
what
right.
I have with me.
I'll pull him up double time.
Up he comes. Now he's on board the boat.
All right. What did you see?
There was I didn't see a whole lot besides the cosmos that surrounds us, but off in such and such a direction, there I saw some movement of creatures. I wouldn't say it was a kraken necessarily, but maybe something a kraken eats.
Is there any part of the boat that's any higher than any other, or is this just a flat skiff? It doesn't have any kind of mast on it?
There's no mast, but you can there is like it's powered by a big fan, so there's a housing for the fan on the back, and you could put one leg up on the, if you wanted, you could get a couple feet higher by standing on the fan housing.
It's a swamp boat.
Right. You would have to balance.
All right, Mal just gets on the pedals and starts pedaling.
Yep. Sarah says, "Oh yes, there are certainly animals out here. Who cares? I don't care about that. We're looking for kraken."
Can we actually? Is this a good point to take our break? Our 10 minutes.
It's a great point to take our break.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Excellent.
Cool.
Let's do a break for 10 minutes. We'll be back at 9:10.
All right. When?
Until she said pumpkin seeds, I thought those were apple seeds.
Welcome back to this episode of some Dungeons and Dragons thing. Weatherin
Hi.
and Malmer, you are about as far from land as it is possible to be. It is about noonish. Sarah calls a halt. She says, "It's time for lunch." So you break out your little tins of, or get some food out of the little locker in the under the bench of the boat. You're having your lunch.
Oh man, no prestidigitation. Need to take a level of sorcerer.
Yes, you should definitely take a level of sorcerer, Mr. Warlock. And then not gonna do anything. Cool.
Normal
That sounds
stuff.
fine. In that case, we're gonna set off back the way you came. It's the middle of the day. You need to be heading back. It's probably going to take as long to get out here as you took to get back. It's going to take at least as long to get back as it took you to get out here. So you should go ahead and start making your way back, which is what Sarah says to do, and you start doing it.
As they're heading back, Mal kind of leans over to one of the other sailors as he's kind of running past him, pulling on ropes, and he's got a giant pole. He's like pushing off with the pole, and he's trying to like gondola style help the ship along. And he says to one of the other sailors in the boat, "So, what's the biggest kraken you've ever seen on a hunt, sailor?"
You are talking to Aelin. And Aelin, who's got muscular build, pretty big eyebrows. Aelin says, "Oh, well, down in the Swamp Eternal, I saw one that had to be an older adult. It was bigger than the ship."
Just the body, you mean?
Yeah, the body. It was. I don't know how to say it. It was like trying to kill God. I would say. It. By the time we brought it down, it was quite a battle. My own boat was destroyed by one of the arms.
Wow.
One of the
As
big
they get older, I think as they get older, they get smarter. So the younger ones, they don't know necessarily to attack the boats. Maybe sometimes they will, but once they get old, they get wily, and they start to understand where the danger comes from and what the weak points are. They'll attack your boat, and you'll find yourself falling right through the cloudy sea.
Good to know.
Mal starts thinking about ways to pray to Chernobog for a turbocharged version of mirror image that works on a boat.
Sarah stops you at one point where you seem to be, you're traversing like a long, thin stretch of trees that connect two larger sort of archipelagos, where you can almost think like, if this stretch of maybe only 4 or 5 trees wide, if this stretch breaks when the trees here die, that whole grove off to the west is just going to float away into nowhere.
Wow.
Wouldn't want to be out there when that happened. But you're on your way back, and he stops the boat and says, "Hey, Malmer, you want to go down again? See what there is to see?"
Of course. Mal suits up. He's got a little, basically a harness that he's made for himself that he can kind of sit back in. It's 3 or 4 lengths of rope that kind of go underneath each thigh. So.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're on the rope, you've pretty much got you're hooked in in a harness-like way.
Right.
Okay. Make your acrobatics check. Weathering, go ahead and make your athletics check.
Julio. 7. Man, my rolls are abysmal today, except for that one natural 20.
9. I'm really missing the blessing of Pond. If only I had an extra D4 worth of Pond's guidance.
It's only for a minute, though.
But it would have worked here.
Shouldn't have driven me away.
Yeah, as you are, you guys make a. You don't, you don't fail at it. You're able to do it, but you bump around some, and the other sailors have to sort of help you weather in. I think maybe it's been a long day. You get down there. Make me a perception check and a religion check once you get all the way down.
When I see it's taking a little bit tough, Watherin casts Bless on us.
21 and 10.
Is that
Which?
with the D4s?
Oh, did you give me a D4?
I just cast Bless because
cool.
it was rough going.
20. Okay, so 24 perception check and 14 religion. That blessing was a full +4. It took me from a 10 to a 14.
Nice. You are scanning around, and you feel like Sarah has brought you to a place where she's pretty clever. She must have succeeded on some sort of survival check because she figured out that she's maybe it's her experience, but the low places here for you guys on top are high places underneath if you're going to try and look out over the surrounding area.
Right.
She's brought you to this place which is sort of as low as you had passed through so far, sent you down there to look. So you have just an extraordinary view of the whole maze-like place around you. You actually see another sailor hanging down from a rope.
Huh.
They're really far away. They're like half a mile away. But nothing else dangles like that.
Huh. Interesting. It's catching on, huh?
Oh, other people aren't going down as low as you do. Most of the time they just lower just below. But the ship does this, and it's not a uncommon practice to get a look down below.
Gotcha.
You're being by telling me that you're going to lower yourself all the way to the end of the rope. You're spending more time on it, and you're being more aggressive about it.
Right.
Than the rest of the crews than you would normally be. You're taking a bit more of a risk too, because the more rope you play out, the riskier.
Right.
You also see what looks like a dragon. It's pretty far away. To your southeast now.
Okay. What would be the distance?
3/4 of a mile.
Okay.
It's at the very edge of as far as you can see with your night vision from this high. But you do see distinctive, like what you see is it flies down from above through some mist. So you see like a little puff of white as the mist that was covering up a blank hole, like a void spot, as that mist gets puffed downward by the dragon falling through. Maybe it was hunting something, it had just caught something by diving down on it. But you see this puff of mist and then a little tiny black shape that you know is gigantic. A little bit shiny, like it has scales. See maybe the edge of the wings going, and it makes a loop down underneath and then comes back up and lands in the trees.
All right. I think I'm going to sit. I'm going to cast Minor Illusion to try to obscure myself and just make myself look like a chunk of mist that's broken off, or maybe like a floating branch or something.
How big is the area covered by Minor Illusion? It's not very big, right?
Oh, okay.
Like a halfling could hide in it, but not you.
Okay, so in that case, I can cast Alter Self at will. So I'm going to make all of my skin look like bark, and I'm just going to kind of scratch in a weird way and break up and put my hand over my,
You're a broken branch.
At my eyes.
Camouflage.
Yeah.
Camouflage, yeah.
So, well, yeah, he's specifically trying to obscure his shape as a human. So, yeah, and then he's going to watch that dragon and wait to see what makes that dragon move. And he's going to listen as carefully as he can.
Okay. How long are you going to wait?
I mean, upwards of until they pull me up.
Okay. Make me a nature check.
Okay. 12.
Okay. It's most dragons have lairs. But it's unlikely for a dragon to have a lair in this area. So it's most likely that this dragon has come out to the Ragged Edge for some reason and will be going back to wherever it sleeps at night.
Okay. Yeah, presumably that is to hunt. And for a dragon, a small kraken would be a good meal. So, yeah, so basically right now Mal is hoping to observe this dragon carefully enough to learn something about what the dragon prioritizes,
Right.
how it strategizes when it hunts.
Yeah. You're looking intently at the place where you saw the dragon, and all you see is maybe like 12, 13 minutes pass. Seems like an eternity down here. And eventually you just see a small ripple.
A small what?
Like a ripple, like maybe not a ripple isn't the right way to describe it, but the
A swirl.
you're looking from below up at these clouds from the underside, and what you see is they sort of puff down a little bit,
Right.
and then back up, and that propagates out just like a little bit, like something disturbed the equilibrium of that patch of trees for just like a minute.
Okay. All right, then he's going to pull himself up after that and check to see if they saw the dragon take off upwards.
Weather and perception check.
Yeah. Brutal. 7.
No,
Sarah,
they don't see anything.
else? There's a bunch of eyes up top.
Oh wait.
They don't see anything, and they don't have nearly as good of a advantage. So like they there's no way from here that they could see that far anyway.
Touche,
Go ahead and
touche.
make me.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make me whatever checks you are going to make to help yourselves get back to the Fujin,
Okie dokie.
if you want. However you feel like you want to help.
I mean, I'm best.
I got a 14 on my sleight of hand, same as before, trying to do ropey stuff.
Mal is really tired, and so what he's going to do is he's going to make a performance and/or persuasion check to try to get the men all excited and like tell them stories about Kraken and say, try to come up with some story about how the men who went farthest and yet got back first, were lucky in some way. So he's trying to get them excited about that.
So if you want to entertain them, performance.
Okay.
If you want to convince them to work really hard, persuasion.
Persuasion. 17. And can I make a performance check while I do it?
I mean, if all it will decide is like the quality of the story you tell.
16.
Tell them a good story, even if you roll low.
Yeah, you tell them, you get them all worked up, and Sarah kind of rolls her eyes a little bit at you, but she doesn't say anything, and it works. They do seem to start pedaling faster. So the crew's scudding along. Let's see. Yeah, so at one point, Sarah comes to you and she says, Weatherin, I wonder if you could help me out here. We're at a kind of a parting of the ways, and I'm thinking we should go right here, but I'm really not quite sure. Could you possibly help me out?
Sure.
And you can make if you want to make a survival check.
Wait, Sir Robert, you don't have any kind of divination spell, do you, from your god?
I don't, although I do have navigator's tools that I use, Matt, and I have a proficiency with them.
Yeah.
Does that affect this at all, or?
This is not the kind of navigation that they're for.
Okay.
This is not like figuring out where on the map you are and knowing which direction to go. This is like the same kind of navigation as navigating a maze.
Okay.
Which is not what like nautical navigation is.
So survival?
Yeah, just give me she rolled survival and she wants your help.
Got it. Okay. 6.
Okay. You look around and you don't feel like you're very confident about knowing which of the two ways that she thinks might be the best way back really is. Malmer, at this point, you too notice that the harpooner and the second mate are a little bit like
unsure.
They've stopped the boat and they seem a little unsure.
Sure. Yeah. Can I make either a survival? Survival would be the thing, right?
Yeah, survival would be to try and figure out the way back yourself.
10.
Okay, so are either of you confident in yourselves enough to tell her that you know the way? Neither of you feel really confident.
Mal sees the anxiety and steps up and says, to the right. To the right. It would be the wise thing to do.
All right, let's go. So you go off in that direction, and at this point, the sun is not down. It's it's going to be midnight before the sun is down, but the sun is getting towards where the horizon would be if there was a horizon. You know that the other boats will probably have been back by now. I don't like to just continue asking for survival check after survival check, but you two go ahead and make me another set of survival checks.
Okay.
Hey, before we
I'm gonna
do,
bless us again.
Mal turns to Watherin and says, "The blessing of Oberon would be good at this moment.
Watherin
He is a boon
is,
towards you."
already has his prayer book out and is ready, spell book, prayer book, and does so. And there we go.
Mal has a flashback for just a moment of a family ceremony moment where a priest of Oberon presided when he was a boy. All right, that's a 10 again.
13.
All right.
Oh, sorry. I didn't have the D4. Gosh, I'm an idiot. It's 10 plus 4, 14. Hey, that's 2 4s in a row from Bless.
And 13 for me.
All right.
Oberon smiles mightily upon us.
Weatherin,
Yeah.
go ahead and make me a charisma deception check.
Oof.
So what that is
Deception. Okay.
yeah.
Tell me. Sorry, you want this to be a deception check, not a charisma check.
What you should do is take your charisma
Bonus or
and
modifier?
your charisma bonus and add any deception modifier to that.
Got it. Okay.
So deception would ordinarily add to another skill, but this should be charisma deception.
Okay. And okay, got it. This is a normal check. Okay.
Unless you're immune to being charmed.
I don't know if I'm immune to being charmed.
You're an elf, so you might have
Well, I rolled a 24.
You have advantage against being charmed, and magic
Right.
can't put you to sleep.
Got it.
so you should roll with advantage here.
Yeah, 24.
Okay. You continue on.
Okay.
I wonder if you notice when this happens. I think yeah, maybe
That's a pretty high score.
You feel something evil, frankly evil, that is sort of brushing the edge of your mind.
Mm.
But you have a powerful, like, emotional strength to ward it off.
Okay.
So you set your heart against it, and you don't let it get anything about you.
Okay.
When you make it back to the Fujin, you are all pretty tired. I have to roll up a little bit here. Find some things out about these other ships. Yeah, none of them spotted a kraken. One of them was able to catch a giant snake that tried to eat them.
Tasty?
It was like a big fight. It was actually Gratu, who the orc harpooner, and some snake made the absolutely dumb idea to try and eat her, and it got slain for that. So they come back hauling like a big old constrictor snake skin, like, I don't know, 20 feet long, just a really, really big snake.
Mm-hmm.
And she's telling the story of what happened, and everybody's gathered around her, and it's
Fresh snake meat.
fresh meat for everybody. Throw it on the grill. It's a long Northern Lights kind of night as the sun takes a long time and it's shining up from below you.
So as
for a
they're
while.
telling the story about the snake fight, Mal is using minor illusion to create the scene of the snake and to like make the snake head like dart out of the edge of the crowd and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, do roll a performance check for that to see how interesting it is.
Ah. Nice. Okay. 15.
Cool. It is somewhat interesting. They're like, oh, that's a neat trick, buddy. Sounds good. Good. We are going to jump back to our other antagonists. I'm talking about
Hey, that's me.
our priest and our Fennetir.
And our gravy.
Oh, sorry, Tashash and Fennetir. Yeah, so you wake up in the morning.
So at some point during the night when what's his name? When Fennetir wakes up for his Fennetir has to wake himself up for his what's it called? For his
trance.
Yeah, to do his
Oh yeah, his
turn
preparing his spells and stuff in the morning.
Oh no! For his when it's his turn for the watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he has to wake himself up. Tashash doesn't come get him.
No, you were awake at first.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to wake myself up as well. Yeah. Well, I'm in my trance. I'm not actually asleep. I'm kind of aware of what's around me.
Yeah.
So
Tashash doesn't come get him though.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Does Tashash fall asleep during his watch?
No.
Okay.
You find him he's sitting, he's sitting at the edge of the tent keeping watch, but he actually looks kind of distracted. And he doesn't notice when you come up.
Well, go to sleep, man. I mean, lizard man. Lizard people.
Yes, I am a lizard man. Still. But I am not the same lizard man as I was, I do not think.
As you were when?
Before I died.
Before you disappeared off the boat?
Yes, and then I died. And then I came back.
Huh.
I think I have a new name now.
Oh, what should we call you?
He looks a little uncertain at this. And then he shakes his head and continues.
My name now is Tadaita Esakarokwe Rakakaraok. It means the one who fell south, and his bones became dust, and then he returned. But you should still call me Gravy.
I will do that.
And
Thank you.
Gravy nods, and then goes back to sleep, and then goes into the
back to sleep. I knew it. You were asleep.
Tent. Goes into the tent and goes to sleep.
Sun comes up in the morning. Actually, by the time you guys are finished recharging, the sun is definitely up.
Got it.
Birds are singing and building their nests and hunting for little bugs. You can hear the little animals have sort of gotten used to you. So there are sparrows around. You can
Are
hear
they
a call.
weaving me some clothes to wear?
They are not.
Hmm. Disappointed in you, sparrows.
Also, squirrels.
They could help.
Gravy is so disappointed that he kills some sparrows for them to eat for breakfast.
Roll me up a survival check for hunting for breakfast.
Natural. You find twice as much food while foraging
Yep.
and tracking creatures.
Oh yeah.
So still do the check.
Still do the check.
Right stuff to
Still do the
twice
check.
nothing's barely
Alright.
nothing. Still nothing.
Well, 15.
Yeah.
You kill
you-
30 sparrows.
I mean, I
I
think
feel-
you probably set some traps before you
Yep.
went to sleep.
I kill birds.
You know what
We
would
eat
you
them.
use in that situation? Mistletoe.
Nice.
Seems reasonable. And after that, we'll continue on toward Three Ways.
Yeah, you find edible berries, and also
Not
You
mistletoe.
you snare birds, not mistletoe. You snare birds, and that makes a pretty tasty breakfast. Are you're gonna build a fire to cook them, or are you gonna just go
I
to
don't need
town?
a fire.
Lizard Man doesn't need a town. How do you feel about that, Fennetir? This is not the Elven way.
I don't need to cook
Finnetir
'em.
takes his sacred flame and poof, cooks them like that.
Okay, you got
Unless
him.
the dead sparrows can pass a dexterity check.
Oh,
They
so
roll
no,
a 0.
tell me what this spell looks like.
I feel like it looks like overkill, so I'm just trying to hit it with the edge.
Okay. Is this
I'm
like a
not aiming
combat spell?
at the sparrow. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're just doing like a small version of this spell,
Yeah.
just to make a little fire to cook your breakfast in. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a small, well-controlled fire. I think that probably the way you're going to have to figure out how you leave is it's going to be like you're going to Tashash, or what should I call you now? Not Tashash.
Karaok.
Karaok.
Yep.
Karaok.
Or gravy.
Karaok. Or gravy.
Well, Karaok, you find that you know that if you were to take your larger form, you would distort the landscape quite a bit in a way that would be very dangerous for Fennetir. So probably what you're going to want to do is for Fennetir to like get on your back.
Yeah.
Do
Before
it
you
the way I was
transform,
hoping to do it.
I think we can.
and then make the
Navigate.
transformation.
Yeah, I think we can navigate this.
Yeah. So I think you figure it
Should we
out.
climb to the top also?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sure. Make me the acrobatics checks to climb up to the top.
With advantage, or is that no? That's
Karaok with advantage, but not you, Fennetir.
Nah,
I got a 20.
I got a natural 9, which is a 10 in my world.
That's fine. Yep. You get up to the top. You make your transformation. You start flying.
Go.
And I think that is where we're going to make me perception checks.
Do we? Are we able to make it back to Three Ways?
We have to do
We've had to, like, this would be the second day, right?
no. You only flew for 3 hours. There are 6 3-hour probably it should be more than that, but there are going to be 6 3-hour flights that you have to take.
Oh, okay.
So you'll be able to do 3 of those today, and you're starting on the first of the.
All right. Okay.
My perception is 17. I did say a little prayer to Pond to assist myself to get
Do we
all the
have
way up to 17.
advantage on this one too?
Nothing. Is Matt listening?
Hey, go ahead and
Hey.
make me a perception check.
This one with advantage?
No, you're up in the sky.
Okay.
17 for me.
Likewise.
Okay. Yeah, you fly along, making your way back towards Three Ways. You are still going to have to land. We're gonna have maybe 5 more chances for the DM to kill you with monsters before before you can make it to Three Ways alone in the cloudy sea. But I think that is probably where we're going to end for now, it being almost 10 o'clock. Congratulations, you survived.
Not
So
even
far.
a problem. We did see that weird elf not ghost. Or I
Whatever that
did.
was.
And then I gave a just glowing description to Gravy.
So that is where we are going to stop for tonight. Let us take a look and see if I can find my thing here for
Experience.
thing. Yes. There we go. Weatherin,
Hi.
did you take any risks to help your friends or shipmates?
Yes. Well, let me see. I think I'll probably count that for a different one. So let's say not for this, no.
Is there any special way that you helped in the hunt for Enma, the silver squid? I think yes.
Yeah, the going down and far under the stuff and all that.
Yeah. Did you advance your personal quest?
I tried. I prayed for the whole, when I was out there being all mystical and whatnot, trying to get more direction and favor and stuff for Firin.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Did your attitude towards fate complicate your life in a meaningful way?
That was the whole interaction with the
Yeah.
drow.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So take a fate point.
Okay.
Tashash, now known as Karaok.
Mm-hmm.
Did you take any risks to help your friends or shipmates?
I am traveling alone with Fentir.
Yeah, I think
Cloudy
that's
Sea.
risky. Yeah, go ahead and take an experience point for that. There's not any way that you helped in the hunt for Enma.
Nope.
You did not advance your personal quest either.
I think I did. So the choice to
I'll use that course for 3 ways.
Yes, I did that on purpose. He wants
Okay.
to send a message.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Changing course, convincing Fennetir to let you change course was that you can have a point for that. Did your attitude towards fate complicate your life in a meaningful way?
Would the name change count?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's kind of an odd one, but he's I think it's kind of cemented his identity in this, and also it's it's further leading him further into his delusion of having died.
Sure. I think that you do get the secret experience point.
All right.
Fennetir, did you take any risks to help your friends or shipmates?
Risks? No. Well, no.
He's
I don't think so.
traveling with me.
You rode a dinosaur.
You rode on a
Yeah, I guess
crazy
I'm-
dinosaur lizard man. I think that is very risky.
Yeah, but does it help anything?
Well, I mean that's true. It is. You are trying to advance your personal quest by doing that.
No, we're working together. I mean, so like he was, he kept watch.
I mean, I watched him while he was asleep.
He spotted the.
Yeah, you
spotted
poked your
the,
head out of the tent to look at the
Yeah.
thing. You didn't have to
Yeah.
do that. So yeah, take a point for that.
So we're cooperating, and
You don't get any points for hunting Enma. You do get a point for
Definitely
advancing
not.
your personal quest. Did your attitude towards fate complicate your life in a meaningful way?
No.
And you do get the point for the secret thing.
Ooh. I don't even know what it is anymore. Are there multiple secret things?
No, it's just one thing. Malmer,
Us
Did
being
you take-
away from the. Yeah, doesn't matter.
did you take any risks to help your friends or shipmates?
Well, I stepped within stabbing range of a murderous dark elf to try to take the heat off of Watherin.
Sure. Yeah, he's gonna feel really betrayed if the if whatever he was talking about happens and you're not on and you don't. Yeah, give yourself a point for that.
Okay.
You're making a lot of promises to a lot of your shipmates about whose side you're going to be on when some mysterious big thing happens in the future. Is there any special way you helped in the hunt for Enma the Silver Squid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Scouting.
this whole thing was looking for Enma the Silver Squid. So yeah, did you advance your personal quest?
I did in a couple of ways. One with all of the morale building with the crew, trying to make them stronger. Like literally, he got the crew to summon their strength and make the
Your
operation.
personal quest is to find your fate blade.
Oh! I thought you were talking. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Hunt for Enma. Yeah, advance your quest. Yes. So I built morale with the crew. That's fate. Sorry. At the end of that confrontation, I persuaded the elves to accept this blessing of Oberon that I think is going to help in the hunt. And there was something else that I did. I did try to do the seance thing, whatever, communion thing, but Sarah ended up giving me chores. So I would say that my quest being trying to...
Yeah, I think you tried to, but I think you didn't make any progress.
Oh, advance. Well, no, because we're heading. That's where we're heading right now, and so I kept. If I had tried to fight that guy, he would not have helped me find this temple that we're trying to find. So resolving it where he accepts everything means that I am moving my plot forward, because in that situation, me getting to find my weapon could have fallen completely apart. So I managed to lash. Through my persuasion check, I managed to lash the.
That persuasion check is what you cited for taking a risk to help your friends or shipmates.
Well, that's different. That's just me closing ranks for him.
Sure, but one thing can't get you both experience points.
Okay.
It's fine. I think you made a bona fide attempt to advance your personal quest. You just didn't succeed in it. So
Okay.
good job. But Sarah rolled ornery. She literally rolled a 1 for being cooperative and
Okay.
didn't let you do the thing you were trying to do. So
Same
you don't
happened
get the
with me,
point.
man.
It's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's not your fault, but
No.
you don't get the point.
That means that I missed
your
leveling
attitude-
up by a single point.
I missed leveling up today too.
Did your attitude towards fate complicate your life in a meaningful way?
What's the level up?
16 for level
Four.
5.
I don't. Maybe.
4 times your previous
Oh.
level.
I
Yeah,
missed
no.
it by 3 weeks.
The thing where you tried to get your shipmates on your side.
Yeah.
It's your fate point thing.
Matt?
Yeah.
Is it 4 times your previous level or 4 times your current level?
4 times your current level to get to the next level.
Got it. Okay.
So if you're level 4, it's 16 to get level 5.
Great.
All right.
What if I want to save my experience?
That's fine. That is all for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Tune in this same time next week for another exciting episode. And remember, failure is beautiful.
They're apple seeds, not pumpkin seeds.